on that.
Yes, it actually says
I missed that provision.
Section 501.
Which says what?
Tied into Section 802.
Americans can be arrested for no reason in secret proceedings.
Yes, it says that they don't even need to think a crime's been committed, that you can be snatched off the street secretly and held.
That's not in the Patriot Act.
Yes, Patriot Act 2, yes it is. Let's talk to Kevin in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts. Go ahead, Kevin, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Ms. Coulter. Pleasure to have you take my call. I had listened to Ms. Coulter's responses, and a couple of terms she used was the liberals were like reacting like as if they were reacting to satanic verses. She used another strong term that I would call liberals morally blind.
Well, I agree with her that they respond like you have blasphemed to say that McCarthy was right, when McCarthy was right. That's admitted now.
Right. I think what appeals to me about her book would be, that there are some hidden truths probably in there as compared to what you get off the national media, television control, that there'd be some insight into things like McCarthy.
You got to go quick, bud. I got a bunch of callers.
All right. My point was, could Ms. Coulter please talk about the morality of a president that attends Bohemian Grove?
Oh, yeah. Bush admits he goes to the Grove and Skull and Bones, and these are not Christian organizations. Are you aware of those, Ann?
Vaguely. The men get dressed up in women's clothes and sing songs.
Well, according to the Washington Times, they bus in male prostitutes.
That is absurd.
Bet me $10,000. Hold on, John. I'm not a betting man, but Ann, I'm ready to put my money where my mouth is.
George Bush attends functions with male prostitutes.
Sacramento Bee, Associated Press, Parade Magazine, Spy Magazine. I have all the news articles.
What's his relationship to Victor Ashe?
I don't know who Victor Ashe is.
He's a mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right. We're not going to go there. I can't confirm that. Thank you. John in Tennessee, you're on the air with Ann Coulter. Go ahead.
Yes, isn't the title of your new book a propaganda attempt to divert attention from the treason of Prescott Bush's criminal convictions for arming Adolf Hitler during World War II, to divert attention from Sir Bush Jr.'s Knight of the British Empire's connection to the assassination of Ronald Reagan and Iran Contra terrorism?
Ma'am, I have the Pittsburgh and New York news articles from 42 when Prescott was arrested. Are you saying that didn't happen?
I'm saying this is absolutely nutty, and you ought to get back to concentrating on the black helicopters.
But okay. Which they now admit are surveilling the country with the drones, according to the Houston Chronicle and Senator Warner. You mean those?
This is the nuttiest conversation I've ever had.
I just told you we have mainstream news articles.
We're at war right now. This is no time to be looking for black helicopters.
Okay, let's put John on hold.
I think we ought to be concerned about finding these weapons of mass destruction before they end up in New York, rather than running off on these.
You are a neocon, and you're out there shilling for the Trojan horse that is George Bush, who's a gun grabber, UN promoter, open borders. I mean, the evidence, the truth, the fruit's on the tree, Ann. And we've been trying to be nice to you, and you've just denied things that are all over the mainstream news, many of them for 50 years, and you can't face up to the corruption of the Republican Party that's growing the size of the government. We're conservatives. We're not LaRouche'ites over here, okay?
I think you are.
Well, LaRouche says a lot of things that are true, but then he tells you big government's the answer. We're telling you big government's not the answer, and we do have a corrupt government. And we just told you about Bohemian Grove.
Okay, let's put the next nut on.
And you're in the media, you know this. They don't let me on the air say things about Bohemian Grove unless I have the news articles. Okay?
Sure they do.
No, they don't. Go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and type in Bohemian Grove. I snuck in there. I got video. We've had Pat Buchanan on talking about it on this show. Okay? Bohemian Grove's real. Skull and Bones is real. They lie in the coffins. They do the rituals. It was on Fox News 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's some nutty frat boy ritual. George Bush
and then when they're old men, they do it
with male prostitutes.
No, I said that they admit that male prostitutes are brought into the Grove.
The question on the table was, what do you think of the morality of a president who attends Bohemian Grove, which you clarified is a place where there are male prostitutes?
That's right. That's what I said. The Washington Times said that.
Implication, and perhaps you are denying it now. Is
no, I just said it. I just said that. I said what the Washington Times. Stay there, Ann Coulter, if you got the nerve to do it. Alex Jones.
Thanks for listening.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
I don't know about you, but Bush had better not sign that assault weapons ban. Better not call for open borders. I think that's top issues. It's all about the war on terror, isn't it? We should go after his Saudi pals, according to the head of Judicial Watch, Larry Klayman. He likes to vacation with the Bin Laden family, but that's C-SPAN, National Press Club. Final segment with Ann Coulter. She's a best-selling author. We got a link on Infowars.com to her publisher and how you can get it. And we'll let her talk about it here in a second. Let's try to jam a few calls in here, Ann. Appreciate your courage coming on. Mike in Arizona, you're on the air with Ann Coulter.
Hi, Ann. I guess I'm the next nut. Most of us who are more than casual observers of the political scene recognize that the fencing between the Democrats and the Republicans is largely staged. How do you explain the concentration of Council on Foreign Relations members in both the both Bush administrations and the Clinton administration, an organization that's dedicated to the destruction of American national sovereignty?
I think it's absurd to suggest that.
Yeah, that's just a publication, Foreign Affairs. Don't talk about that.
It is absurd to say that the Republicans are indistinguishable from the Democrats.
I didn't say that, did I?
The idea that Al Gore would be running this war on terrorism the way George Bush is crazy. We would be at great risk right now. All Americans would be. We would not be probably fighting in Afghanistan or in Iraq.
Why is, according to the International Herald Tribune, does the Justice Department have their people standing over witnesses in the 911 investigation and, quote, intimidating them?
By standing there and scowling at them?
Well, you're not, private meetings.
They're apparently easily intimidated. That's why they're hijacking planes and flying them into buildings. They want to intimidate the little
why were some of those hijackers trained at the Pensacola Naval Air Station, according to MSNBC?
What? Now you're saying we trained the hijackers? What is this now?
Yeah, the military-industrial complex, according to Operation Northwoods, planned to carry out 911-style attacks. Baltimore Sun, ABC Nightly News. I don't know if you've heard of them.
This year's just getting nuttier and nuttier.
Well, it's like the USS Liberty, which they now admit. We've had Admiral Moorer on, former chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff. He admits the government tried to sink the ship to blame it on Egypt. That's Admiral Moorer, though.
I think George Bush was considering having Muhammad Atta in a highly placed position in the federal government. And Rumsfeld was almost one of the hijackers. Did you know that? But he got away at the last minute.
Well, 9 of the hijackers are still alive, and unfortunately for you, Ann, our audience is educated and aware of what you're up to. This whole spin.
What up to?
Yeah, you're saying there's no...
to talk about a book, and I'm getting a bunch of nut theories thrown at me.
Well, wait a minute. You're here saying what you're up to is saying that leave Bush alone. So what if he signs the assault weapons ban? We need to get up off our butts and do something. We have Clint in Missouri. Last caller for Ann Coulter. Go ahead. Go ahead, Clint. Okay, Clint's gone. Go ahead, Clint.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Ann had mentioned that Bush has to do certain things to get reelected. I think a lot of our perspectives are he should be more principled. President's duty is not getting elected. There's more important things like preserving our Constitution. And right now, the majority of Americans are more than willing to give away our freedoms for quote-unquote safety, and I just don't think that's in
absolutely
the belief of our founders.
Thank you, Clint. Ann Coulter, we really appreciate you coming on the show, and we hope you'll talk more about the neocons, gun grabbing, open borders, and blocking Dan Burton's committee, and signing on to UNESCO, and signing campaign finance reform, restricting the First Amendment. You think that might be a good idea, Ann?
Candidate Lyndon LaRouche luck in the next election.
Okay, hey, have fun being a neocon Trojan horse, Ann. Have fun being their little poster child, okay? Hopefully you and your buddies can keep everybody in the dark long enough to get your new world order. We know that's what it's all about. I'm out of time, folks. If you want to support this broadcast, don't buy her mindless book of just stuff that doesn't matter anymore, little side issues. Expose the whole system. Get my videos. Go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. I'll be back tonight, 9 to midnight. God bless you.